Everyone. I want to thank everyone for just being here, for the support and taking the time out to engage with my art, really, and with how I perceive motherhood, the different stages of motherhood. If you don't know me, my name is Vanessa Spence. I am the playwright of Stretch Marks Part 1. It really just came out of me. I am also a performer, classically trained theater performer. I'm a producer now. I am a performance coach to live performers. And of course, I am a mom, but I'm also a sister, daughter, partner, and human being, first and foremost. Human being, first and foremost. So why we're here today, we're here to read Stretch Marks, Part 1. And what this Stretch Marks, what I'd like it to be, or what it will be, is a 3-part series that really brings to light the spiritual, mental, emotional, physical battles and imbalances that we face during the many stages of motherhood. And this play series was derived from my book. So my book of poetry that I have called Stretch Marks. So I was writing all throughout my pregnancy, and it just kind of once again came out of me. And yes, oh, hello, Sharnique, thanks for coming. Oh, I appreciate you. So yes, it just kind of came out of me, just like Nova did. And I wanted to be able to build this story and really tell it in the way that I want to tell it. And I feel, or I know that is through theater, through my first love. And so that's why I decided to turn it into a script and make it a story. So what Stretch Marks Part 1 really focuses on, the moments leading up to a young woman's crucial decision of whether she wants to become a mother or not. Really, to me, that was the first stage. That was really what kind of drove me into motherhood. It wasn't the getting pregnant part, because I didn't even know I was pregnant till about 3 months. It wasn't, the pregnancy. It wasn't, what happened during pregnancy. It wasn't like the swollen feet and, the jowls. It was really that first decision to say, okay, am I going to do this or not? And so that's what I feel is the very important story to tell off the bat. So as you can see, we're doing this on Virtue Arts. So Virtue Arts is my production company, live performance production company. And we're a net-based company that focuses on making sure that theater, especially during these times, like I said earlier, is more accessible. Theater, live performance. So whether that's, a one-woman show like this, or whether that's a poetry show, a set of poets, whether that's musicians, whether that's comedians, we want to make sure that art is accessible. Live art is accessible all around the world. And how we do that, we kind of bring together, the best parts of live performance and film to create, the whole live streaming experience. So we're very excited to try that out this October. And that's when Stretch Marks is supposed to come out. So because we do it in this way, we are able to take sponsorships, and we're able to partner with different businesses and, other artists to get once again, sponsorships. We have commercial spaces, we have ad space. We also have placements. So there are some slots where your business, or, if you're an influencer, you are able to be placed into the play or into anything that we do, because we really want to be able to build the community outside of theater and outside of live performance through our love for live performance. So if you know anyone that is interested in something like that, then please, you can contact me. And all of my contact info is at the top of all the comments, all of the lovely comments, and the stars and the hands and the queens and the starry eyes, heart eyes. So thank you guys for all that love. All right, let's get into it. Let's get to the reason why we're here. Let's read This play, oh my gosh. Okay, so we're going to read the play. The play goes for about, I'm going to say 27 minutes, only reading. And after we do the reading, then it will commence, we will start the talkback session. And the talkback session is going to happen mostly in the comments. And I will kind of facilitate that for everyone. And if obviously, if you don't feel comfortable commenting or, sharing your story or sharing how you feel, you can email me and all of my information is there. It's most important. The reason why we're doing this, or I'm doing the script reading, is to make sure that the script is doing what it's supposed to do, to make sure that it's affecting the audience in the way that it's supposed to affect the audience. And so your feedback and your stories and, whether you're a mother or not, everything helps, right? So please share your stories with us after I share mine. And if you have any questions, also, I would be more than happy to answer those questions as well. So without further ado, let's begin. I'm going to be reading the script off of my computer. So if you see, if my eyes are dead in some places, that's because I'm reading the script off the computer. All right. So there are two characters right now. There is an apparition who is the ghost of someone that the main character knows. And then there is the main character who is nameless right now. And once again, this is a script in development. So there may be some, jumps and skips, pauses, but just go along with the journey. Go along with the journey with me. All right, I want to see how this camera looks because it just got really dark over here. Let me turn on the light. Okay, not as ambient, but it'll do. It'll do. Okay. Stretch Marks, Part 1. Written and performed by moi. Setting, the bathroom of a small apartment. Characters, girl and apparition. A blacked out figure appears on stage, looks directly at the camera, and begins to speak. They don't tell you how it ends. They give you a play-by-play of the beginning, though. How it should feel, what it should look like, what you should do and how you should do it, what you should call it and what you should plan, the shit you should buy and the shit you should have, the shit you should ask for. Can't be anything for yourself, though. And the time that you should take. And when that time is just too much. And the sacrifices you should make, you and only you. They don't tell you about the love that dwindles to the size of a cherry on the inside. And they don't tell you about the forks in the road, the ones that are marked joy, complacency, or resentment. And they don't tell you that of those three options, you only get the latter. Yet, somehow, we still believe that the choice was always ours. Lights fade up on a stage that is set like a washroom in an apartment. A girl walks in from stage left with a dollar store bag. She closes and locks the washroom door, places the bag on the counter, opens it up and begins to remove the contents of the bag. She takes out a bag of chips, a jar of dip, a large bottle of iced tea, a small flask, and lastly, a pink box marked pregnancy test. She looks at the box for the instructions and begins to read them to herself. She opens the box and begins to act out the steps she previously read. She takes out the contents of the box and lays them side by side on the counter. She opens a small foil bag and places its contents beside the sink. She then grabs the pea catcher and starts to pull down her pants in preparation to use the bathroom. She places the pea catcher in the right area and begins to urinate. Placing the pea catcher carefully on the arm of the tub, she grabs the syringe, takes some pee out, and gingerly places 4 drops on the pregnancy test. 3 minutes pass. She picks up the pregnancy test, then the box, and looks over both of them intensely. Fuck. Walking over to the sink, she reaches for the chips, opens the dip, and begins to snack. She eats a chip. Have the baby. She eats another chip. Have the baby not. She eats a chip. Have the baby. She eats another. Have the baby not. Okay, this isn't going to work. There are really only 2 options. Have the baby or don't have the baby. I mean, I could put it up for adoption, but I would still have to go through all of that physical trauma. And by the time this thing pops out, I'll feel like I would have deserved to keep it after turning down all that alcohol for so many months. So maybe that's not an option. The girl pulls out a notepad and pen from her purse. Baby. Pros and cons. Pro. I'll have a baby. Con. I'll have to sacrifice my body. I've got just the right amount of chub right now, but what will pregnancy do to me? Jowls, 38F bras, an unforgiving kangaroo pouch, stretch marks. Pro. I'll have pushed my body to its limits. I'll have gone through 10 moons of pregnancy, and that in itself is a win. Con, afterbirth. All of that sludge leaving my body at its own leisure and those big ass diaper pads that I'll have to wear while breastfeeding, another con. Breastfeeding. It's a beautiful thing, but my breasts can't afford any more hang time. They are saggy as hell. Pro, I'll get lots of free stuff and have a bashment baby shower. That'll be super fun. Con, where the hell am I going to live? I won't be able to afford this place. And the only option I'll have is to move back in with my mom, and no. Pro, I'll be forced to grow up. In a good way. Maybe I can finally leave my shitty job and use the mat leave time to figure out my own shit. You know, like seeing my kid will automatically make me want to be better. That's what they say, right? Get up off my ass and make something of myself. Con, I am not perfect. And my mom is not perfect. And my grandmother is not perfect, and the list goes on and on and on. I can't risk bringing a child into this imperfect world, into this imperfect life. My imperfect life, there are so many issues that need to be addressed and then unpacked and then abolished before one more soul can take its first breath. There's so much work to do. Pro. Maybe I'll get the opportunity to understand what it means to love unconditionally. She walks to the mirror. It bewilders me just how fast a smile can fade away. Before it eclipses, it shines brighter than the sun, covering everyone in its path with warmth, hope, joy, love. But when it's gone, it sucks the life out of what it once gave light. a black hole absorbing the energy, stealing the hope, joy, love. You know, when I was 9, I actually thought that babies came through immaculate conception. I remember there was this lady down the hall who had about 6 children, packed like sardines in their apartment. She was perpetually pregnant, and I actually thought that she was being blessed. She was awarded these gifts that seemed to keep on giving, and she seemed so happy about it. She always had a smile that was plastered to her face like a carpenter trying to cover up the cracks in the foundation of a house. On the outside, everything looked great, but behind her eyes, I saw pain, regret. A few nights out of the week, her kids would come over for lunch or dinner, and I was barely 14 when I realized that their mother couldn't even feed them. Like, she was spending all of that government money on liquor and drugs. But I guess she couldn't handle making any decisions, or maybe she was drowning in them. So I wondered to myself, why the hell does God keep blessing her with all of these babies if she can't take care of them? Like, isn't God supposed to see what's in our heart? Isn't he supposed to know how she's feeling deep down, truly feeling? And if God knew, really knew what she was feeling or what really lay behind that plastered on smile, wouldn't he have stopped? Like, wouldn't he have given her some mercy? But they're blessings. Babies are blessings. And so whether she needed a new one or not, whether she wanted a new one or not, whether she needed or could handle a new one or not, it was granted to her. A baby, alive, plopped into her body and then into her hands, like no rules, no guidelines other than to keep them alive. The other day, I read upon this woman who committed maternal filicide, and that's when a mother murders her child. Her name is Tanisha Carey. Unbeknownst to anyone in her family, she gave birth to 2 children, and only one is living, and she's in foster care. Baby Hope was found in a ditch on the side of the road, covered and bitten by swarms of fire ants, and baby Malik was found wrapped in a black trash bag in a dumpster behind a restaurant days after his birth. He was covered in his own shit, and they even found some in his lungs. And in her trial, she claimed to have just cause for murder because she procreated with a man that she did not love. I think it's deeper than that, though. I don't think it had anything to do with that man and everything to do with how she felt about herself. She didn't want those babies, whether it's because she didn't want to raise them alone, or maybe the shame of facing her family with a baby on her hip, or maybe she didn't have enough faith in herself to be a mother. You know what? I don't blame her. At least in some fucked up way, she was real with herself. She didn't want no kids, and she had to do what she had to do to get what she wanted. Now, she's sentenced to life in a Texas county jail with no parole. Meanwhile, a white woman who did not deny drowning her 3-year-old daughter and 5 and 9-year-old sons to the point of death in 1 foot of bathwater is living it up in a mental health institution. But that's not my point. When I think about Tanisha, and when I think about that lady down the hall, all I can think about is what they wanted to be when they grew up. Like, what were their hopes and dreams? What was on their bucket lists? What did their ideal life look like? I'm sure it wasn't a bag of kids and no money or murder and jail. I can only imagine that it would have been veterinary school and white picket fences, a family of 4, 2 parents, a girl and a young boy, traveling and self-employment, buying coffee mugs on a whim, breakfast in bed, sex in the kitchen. But now they're stuck in the sacrifices that they didn't even know that they were making. The sacrifices they didn't know they had to make. I don't know if I want to make those sacrifices, because I want self-employment and front doors that are French. And I want to see Africa and Spain and Iceland and everything in between. I don't want sacrifice. I don't want to be a martyr. So even if I had this child, I'd just be guilty. Knowing what I know and wanting what I want, I'd just be guilty of succumbing to the vain part of me that wanted to see how much the child my body created would come out to look like me. Guilty of making a decision that I didn't realize would affect the rest of my life. Guilty of thinking that I could do this alone. I would be guilty of making myself believe that this was something that I actually wanted to do. Guilty of pushing my own wants aside to justify one night. Guilty of letting my guard down and falling in love with someone who will never see me as I see myself. I'd be guilty of using my duty as a mother as an excuse to stay in the same place year after year. Guilty of passing the blame, guilty of hoarding my shame. For all these things and more, I'd be guilty. What is it that they were searching for? Did they think it would be easy to come by? Their smile came in a matter of moments and left in a matter of seconds. Abortion. Pros and cons. Pro, I won't have a baby, and that's all right. Con, I'll have to fight with my conscience, even though an abortion can be a very ethical thing in many cases. Pro, I won't have a baby, and that deserves 2 lines. Con, I'll have to bring someone to the clinic with me, and I don't want to tell anyone. I don't want anyone to know. This is my choice, and I want to make it without any outside opinion. Pro, it's free, and I think they give you a treat afterward. Con, the whole procedure in itself, it's just so intrusive, but I guess I'd have the pill option. But both the intrusive and non-intrusive way leads to pools of blood streaming out of my vagina. But so does having a baby. Oh my God. No matter what I do, it leads to pools of blood. Pro, I'll have my freedom. A few days of pain and a pool of blood, but I'll have my freedom. Con, what if I can't have another child? I go through with the abortion and terminate this pregnancy, and next thing I know, 5 years down the line, when I've met the human being of my dreams and I want to profess my love by having our child, when I'm finally ready to exercise the extent of my womanhood just to be told that I'm not able, that I am not capable, that my body is not competent. That's not fair. And I'm not saying that I don't ever want kids. I'm just saying that I don't want them right now, like 5 maybe 10 years down the line when I'm more established, but not when I'm living in the funk of my early 20s, not right now, not right now. I was 18 years old. My foster parents had given me all of the information I needed to track down my birth mother. And that was their agreement when my mom gave me up for adoption. I sat on it, and finally, on my 19th birthday, I made it my mission to find this woman. I didn't want to tell her anything specific. I didn't want to tell her how her decision affected me. I didn't want to make her feel guilty, for doing what she did. I just wanted to see her, maybe witness her smile, see a tear roll down the side of her cheek at the sight of her firstborn daughter. I wanted to know what she was doing day to day, where she worked, and if it's what she really wanted. I wanted to know if she found love and ask her what her path was to it. I wanted to have a conversation. I wanted to get to know her, and I wanted her to get to know me. So I took a bus to Chatham, Ontario, and I got there at 3:14 p.m. on Saturday, May 14th, 2011. Her home was a short cab ride away from the stop. And those homes were huge and so far apart. And each house had a lot of land and a detached garage and driveways that winded up towards the front door. It was something I'd only seen in movies. And I got out of the cab a few houses down and walked the rest of the way to 2745 Ampersand Lane. And when I got there, I just passed it. And I must have walked around the block 10 times, and every time I saw something new. I saw 3 bikes, 2 blue and silver mountain bikes, and 1 small pink one, covered in unicorns. And the next time, I saw their back deck, and it had a pool and a fireplace. And next, I saw cars, 4 of them, just there. A white man was working on one, a thunder something. And then I saw her. Her skin was chocolate. Her hair was in the finest braid up I had ever seen, just falling down to the nape of her back, and her shape was heavenly. Like she went for runs every day and walked with her husband or worked out with her husband in the basement every morning. And I heard her laugh. And I saw her smile. But it wasn't at me. Coming out from behind, my mom was her daughter. She looked about 7 or 8. Her hair was long and curly, and it was that nice light brown color, like it had been sun bleached, but all year round. And the little girl hugged my mom's legs. My mom patted her on the head and then kissed her husband. It looked like the perfect car commercial for a perfect swirly family. And I just felt like an outsider. The wrench that would have massacred their trinity. Obviously, I didn't go any further. I kept my distance and watched from behind the trees. It's a fate that I was sentenced with since the day that I was born, when that woman abandoned me. I thought that information I got on my 18th birthday would have brought some sense to this world, maybe would have given me a purpose, maybe would have kept me from these set of circumstances. But here I am, careerless, loveless, and pregnant. Probably in the same position that woman was in when she had me at 17, hugging a toilet with a positive pregnancy test in her grips, using her last dollars on chips and dip and iced tea to make it seem better. I can't help but feel I've made a huge mistake. I try to fight the thought, but the feeling I just can't shake. I've read all of these articles, listened to all of these stories. Why do they all sound the same? A broken relationship, two broken people, and a child in between, with no choice in the matter. A child conceived of a falsified love, in many cases lasting a lifetime. But behind closed doors, all that's left are two sets of eyes. I didn't want to leave you. It was something I had to do. Tell my little girl I'm sorry. I promise I did this all for you. One day you will understand. You will take my hand and say, thank you. I was trying to figure out what that lady down the hall and Tanisha Carey and even my biological mother had in common. They all had to do what they had to do to get what they wanted. And they went about it in completely different ways, but in the end, they're all happy. One's got a bag of kids, and at least half of them will take care of her in old age. The other is, in some way that really only applies to her, free from responsibility. And my mother got the chance to turn back time and start fresh. But I think they've forgotten the most important piece. Their kids. The young girl who may have no idea how close she was to death, and the young boy who wouldn't experience life. The 6 kids who don't know what it feels like to be given undivided attention, and me, the young adult who will never get the chance to know the person who birthed her. So, what's the difference? Whether I murder my children in cold blood, or neglect them and just give them the bare minimum, or bring them to term and then give up on them entirely, like my biological mom. I feel like I'd be doing the same thing. Haven't I given them the same fate? I've tarnished the environment in which they live. I've squandered their resources and abused their free will, all because of my own selfishness. Because I had a child when I didn't really want it. And I tried to love even though I knew I was incapable of it. And I wanted to nurture because I thought that that was what a woman was supposed to do. So, yeah. I would have gone through 10 months of physical torture and then hours and hours of labor just to wake up with an 8-pound weight on my chest that would only get bigger and heavier. So what do you expect me to do? Jump for joy? Change my life? Sacrifice my goals because now there is this thing that is counting on me and only me. And this thing that looks up at me with such clarity, believing that I have everything it needs. This thing that is bonded to me, for eternity. My gift for enjoying one night. I don't want to sign up for that. Because if I had a baby, I'd only think about taking back my freedom. I think about it daily. She looks at her flask, contemplates for a minute, and looks at the audience. It's not illegal. She takes a swig, and another, and another, and another. The end. Oh, hi, Shadia. Okay, so that was stretch marks. That was stretch marks part 1. If you guys want to join me in a deep breath in, taking it all in, and then a nice calm breath out. Man, thank you guys again for being here. This was amazing. Thank you, Kara. Thank you, mangoes and bananas, 2 of my favorite fruits. All right, so we are going to now get into the talkback portion of the show of the script reading. So once again, you are able to share your experiences, share your ideas, your thoughts in the live chat, and I will be able to comment and, kind of dig a little bit deeper with you all on what you thought and, what you got. Oh, hi, Keisha. Oh my gosh. Hi. Thanks for coming. Mangoes and bananas. So I want to thank you guys. No, I said that already. So I just want to remind you guys that, when I start prompting you with these questions, you can put your thoughts, ideas, anything into the chat, and I will engage with you there. And we will do this for, I'm saying like maybe 20, 25 minutes, just depending on how things go, depending on how deep the conversation is. And when I see that we stop engaging, then I will just kind of let it be. And we will enjoy the rest of our Friday evenings. Yes. So, okay. First question. What feelings or emotions did the script leave you with? So after hearing, everything that you heard and, experiencing, going on that journey with me, what feelings were you left with from what you heard? So I will allow people to go right ahead. I don't really want to tell you guys what I wanted from the audience. So that's why I really want to see what you guys think, what you guys thought. So please, please share with me what you thought. What feelings and emotions did the script leave with you? Feelings and emotions. Man, reading that out loud, I read it out loud. I don't, obviously I would have had to read it out loud, but reading it out loud and knowing that people were listening, it's a completely different experience. Even just reading it and the things that were going on in my head, I got so much deeper into the story and I made different connections for myself, just knowing that, it was on another level, right? Honest and relatable. My lovely sister says, yes, honest and relatable. It really just came out. So I wanted it to be as real as possible. And when we're thinking about how the play is set up, she's basically in her bathroom the entire time, just contemplating, just thinking, just going through all the things that, saying everything that's going through her head, just saying it out loud, giving it the space to breathe, is what I think is very important. Because a lot of folks I have interviewed a lot of moms, actually. I interviewed a lot of moms from different backgrounds, different cultural backgrounds, different socioeconomic backgrounds. I have really kind of gotten into it, and I've taken I've taken, I guess, the common themes, but more on the darker side, as you can tell. I'm more on the darker side of things. I enjoy real honesty. So I took those darker themes and I kind of made this. I see Keisha, raw, real, honest, clear content. Thank you, Keisha. Thank you so much. Yeah, it was, once again, like I said, it just kind of flowed out of me. I just allowed it to do its thing. This has been 2 years in the making. Since the day that my daughter was born, just everything that has gone on and everything that I've been through, everything that I've gone through mentally is definitely something that you'll see in the script. Lemoy, regret. Yes, yes. So regret is a really big one because all you're doing is really thinking about who you were before. You're thinking about all the freedom that you had. You're thinking about, for me, that one last drink, having a good night out, going to a nice fete and not worrying about what time I have to come home. Being able to just ups and get into my car and go, a lot of those things are not, they're not doable at this moment in time. So I definitely, think that regret is a very large theme in the stretch mark series as a whole. Jenny says some of the most important and intimate decisions are made in a bathroom/washroom. Yes, you're so right. You're so right, and that's kind of why I chose it. It's the one place, and actually, as a mother too, sometimes it's the one place where you can truly feel alone. You can truly feel just by yourself when you are in the bathroom, just squatting on the toilet, or when you are in the shower, not having to worry about, another little thing with two sets of legs just running up and down the house. Kara, understood in The Secret Shame of the Selfish Woman. Oh, girl, The Secret Shame of the Selfish Woman. Yes. If any of you guys know, but I would consider myself very selfish. I would consider myself not self-serving, selfish, only selfish. Because I think about myself first. I think about what I want. I think about what I need. But I feel like I have to do that in order to serve someone else better. So yes, I'm going to think about myself. But a lot of the times when it comes to motherhood, especially, that's looked down upon, to do what you want to do first, to think about your child second. But I can't take care of my child. My partner can't take care of our child unless we think about ourselves. And so I think that's very important. Lovely. Thank you so much, Kara. Cheyenne, it was honest and vulnerable. Thank you. Yeah, this has been a very vulnerable experience for me. Making the decision to become a mother has shown itself to be a lot more than what I thought it was going to be. It's been a journey, and it's a journey that will never end. And sometimes I don't know whether to be happy about that or whether to just not like that at all. It's different day by day, because I'm a human being, right? Let's see, Vicky, it left me feeling a sense of empathy and insight. Empathy and insight. Oh my God, that makes me so happy. Yeah, thank you. That makes me so happy. Because a part of my audience is not only mothers, my audience is also mothers to be and people who choose not to have children or people who don't have children yet. So I want to make sure that I'm affecting you in the ways that I set out to do. And definitely empathy is a very important thing for me, but really a very important thing for theater and for live performance and any sort of art, is to allow people to feel, allow people to understand your point of view. And so empathy for me is very important. Oh, I think I'm losing myself here. Yes, thank you so much, Vicky. Lock the door. He just says, lock the door in the bathroom. Yes, that is the first step. Lock the door in the bathroom before you do anything else. Close that door. Vicky, very well written. Literally saw everything. Oh, perfect. Thank you so much. That means I'm doing my job. All right, let's see. Next question. After hearing the script, I guess, what are your takeaways? What are your takeaways? What did you learn from the script? Whether you're a mother to be, or not a mother at all, or not planning on being a mother, what were your takeaways? What did you take away from the script? And I will just let them continue. I feel like it's kind of lagging a little bit. All right. And what about this question? I guess is for our mothers. What part of the script resonated with you? What part of the scripts did you connect with as a mother of color? What part of the script resonate with your experience of motherhood? Oh, that's lovely. Literally saw everything. So like I was saying before, I have taken the time out to interview a lot of mothers from different backgrounds, different sorts of backgrounds. And so, if any of you know me, you would know that, I am not adopted, right? So it's definitely taking the different parts and pieces from many women's stories, but also creating some new stories of my own in order to drive home the points that I want to drive home. So I'm not myself. I am someone else who is experiencing the same thing that I had experienced, right? I feel like the question for me was what didn't resonate, and I'm not sure how to answer that question either. Most things deeply resonated. Okay. Ooh, that's a great one, Keisha. That's a great one. Thank you. Thank you for that. I feel like the question for me was what didn't resonate, and I'm not sure how to answer that question. Yeah. So that's funny, yeah, because I wasn't thinking that, I would hit the nail right on the head sometimes, but yeah, everyone comes from a different walk of life, and some people may resonate completely with the story, and some people may not. But that's okay. That's art. That is art. That's a part of the journey. So thank you for that, Keisha. I did not think about that at all, of whether people wouldn't resonate, or didn't resonate. That's a great one. Vicky, I'm not a mother yet, but I can say I resonated with the contemplating and indecision. Yes, definitely. So some of my favorite parts of the script is, oh, you did resonate, Keisha. Yes, you resonate. But I think you said the question for you was what didn't resonate. So that's a great way to look at it for me, is to ask what did not resonate, to see other folks' experiences. Yeah. She just said it in a confusing way. Yeah, it was a bit confusing. What was I saying about Vicky's? Yes, the contemplation and indecision. So yeah, one of my favorite parts of the script is when she's doing the pros and cons. So pro, con. What are the things? That's something that I do. Like, if I have any sort of decision, I always do a pros and cons list to see what really is going on. And a lot of the times, it 9 times out of 10, or like 8 times out of 10, it's always equal on both sides. So really and truly, it depends on what you want as a person and how you see yourself in the future. And that's kind of what I tried to tell in the story there. Everything resonated. Yes, mine as well. Lovely stuff. Okay, what is that? Fourth question, clarity. So was the story clear to you? Why or why not? Was the story clear for you? Why or why not? Even with the possibility of pregnancy, some women go through this process. Yes. Yes. Right. So they don't even have to be, thrust with the decision of pregnancy by finding out that they're pregnant. A lot of women think they're not pregnant yet, and they go through this process in their heads of what's going on, what's not. I think that's healthy, very healthy, because actually being pregnant can really push you in a different direction. Great insight, Vicky. Kara, this line stood out in a huge way. No matter what I do, it leads to pools of blood. Yes. You're definitely an artist, Kara. Yes, that when I wrote that, I was like, I hope someone gets it. Yeah. Yes, that line did hit. That line definitely did hit. And that's another thing. Really, it's really about what you want, because no matter what, there's always going to be something negative. There's always going to be some collateral damage. So really, just thinking about what you want as a person, as a human being, and trying to forget about that pool of blood that's going to be spilling out of you, no matter what decision you make. I'm so glad you got that, Kara. Thank you. Oh, that's amazing. Real laughs. Oh, I love that. All right. Let's see. Oh, last question. What connections did you make? So we're thinking about in the world of the script. So in the world of the scripts, what connection did we make with everything that was going on in her life? I don't know if you guys were able to differentiate, but the girl was speaking in prose, and the apparition was speaking in verse. So I don't know if you guys were able to differentiate, but what connections did you make? What connections did you make there within the confines of the story? I'd love to know. I'd love to know. I'd love to know. Oh boy. Connections. So what connections did you make within the actual story? Awesome. Oh my God, yes, that line. Yes. I'm so happy that Kara got that. So even some of the connections that I had made just by reading it out loud to you folks is, I wasn't really thinking about this, but I was thinking that maybe the apparition was her mother, was her birth mother when she was younger. So I was thinking that maybe that can be a really cool connection to make or to develop in some weird way, that, even though she was not raised by her birth mother, even though she has no idea, or no deep idea of who her birth mother is, that her birth mother is still speaking through her in some way, and that just gave me chills, just saying that out loud. So that in some way her birth mother is still speaking to her in some weird way, but it still resonates, it still hits, it still helps her along her journey, right? Vicky with the Carol with the yes. Oh my gosh, yeah, that gave me chills. Yeah, definitely. Oh wow, yeah, that's lovely. Anyone else have different connections or things that they've connected with during the reading of the play, of the script in development? Kara, or her future self. As an audience, we don't know what choice she's going to make exactly. Nice. So it could be her future self. It could be her mother speaking through her in that present moment. There's so many ways to go with that. Yeah, so many ways to go. Oh, wow. Oh, this is so exciting. So exciting. All right. Let's see. Okay, honestly, everyone, it was, let's see, when are we making this into a film? When are we making this into a film? You know what? That's so funny because I was telling everyone before I started reading the script that we are going to live stream this play. So we are taking the awesome elements of live performance and the awesomest elements of film, and we're kind of putting them together to create this live film experience for you guys. And it takes a lot. It takes a lot of work, but it's going to be worth it. I know for sure. So yeah, that's definitely one thing that I want to do. Hey, Keisha, if I don't know if you're into directing or anything like that, but we're looking for people. I'm always looking for people to help out in any artistic way, any creative way. Right now, it's just kind of it's me directing. So it's me directing my own self, and we know that can be really crazy to be just two people inside your head talking at once. So yeah, if you want to direct, please let me know. Ooh, or act, yes, maybe you can be the apparition. Hello, yes. Oh my gosh, yes, girl, I'm gonna contact you. All right. Oh, my auntie's here. Hi, Emily. Exciting. Yay. It is very exciting. Vicky, that her selfish is reflective of her mother's selfish. Oh, shoot. Vicky, you got me there. You got me there. Because a lot of the times, and especially as a mother myself, when I see no, sometimes I'm like, why are you always the worst parts of me? Why are you always the worst parts of me? And even in the play, we haven't even started directing it just yet, but I know that I want to mirror because it is a reflection. Your child is a reflection, right? So that is a great connection. That her selfish side, the selfish side of herself, is also the same selfish as her mother, and that, wow, as her birth mother. That, oh my gosh, Vicky, you are really doing it. Like, you're really doing it for me. Thank you so much for sharing. Oh my gosh. That makes the most sense. Thank you. Cheyenne, yes, I like that part of the script too, the pros and the cons. Yes, it's always weighing those pros and cons, Oh, thank you, Vicky, for that. Wow, love. Ooh, you really got me there. Ooh, chills. All right, so that was the last question. I'm going to just wait here for a little bit to see if any more trickle in, because we may be lagging a little bit, but that's okay. That's a part of the process. But once again, if you know of anyone who's interested in helping creatively with this process, and if you're interested in anyone who wants to help sponsor this process, or work with us and partner to do commercials, because we also have commercial breaks as well, and also to be put into the script, right? So, oh, hi Ray, that's okay. That's okay. So to have like placements in the script, so if you're an influencer, if you're someone like that and you want to be, placed into the script, your name in the script, or we have a part in the script where she has to wait 3 minutes for that pregnancy test to actually do its thing. So we have a lot to play with there. So there are definitely a lot of places where we can partner with folks. Oh yes, thank you so much, Keisha. I'll speak to you soon. Yes. Honestly, it was lovely. Thank you for your insight. I really appreciate you. Um, so yes, if there's anyone if anyone here wants to partner, or if anyone wants to partner or help sponsor this thing, please let me know. And what's also sponsoring this is my book of poetry. So if you would like to purchase the book, please, my website is at the top of the comments, www.vanessaspence.com. And some of the script actually came from these lovely words, these lovely Lovely, lovely words. And I want to shout out a lovely poet and a poet who mentored me, Lemoy. You are wonderful. You are beautiful. And she actually made these beads that are right here. Right here. Okay, so follow Lemoy and you can get them beads. Ooh, you know what? I actually need some soon because they broke. That COVID weight, girl, that COVID weight. All right. Oh, thank you so much, Vicky. That was beautiful. We'll definitely be in touch. Thank you, Vicky. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming. Oh, perfect. 1 hour, perfectly. Okay, lovely. Honestly, I just want to thank you guys so much for being here. Yes, Vicky's like, I need some beats too. You see, you see, Lamore. Yes, get yours. Yes. So honestly, thank you guys so much for being here. At any point, whether you came in midway, halfway, whether you came in 5 minutes ago, I appreciate you. I love you so much. I thank you, and I just wish you the best evening and the best weekend. And hopefully we can all chat soon, get together soon. Oh, thank you, Jenny. Yes, COVID weight is real, girl. I missed it. Was Yes, Lemoy, there was a shout out. I shouted you out, girl, because of these lovely, lovely, lovely beads that I'm wearing on the cover of my Stretch Marks book. So I got those beads from the beautiful Lemoy. She made them handmade, and they are a nice, nice price. And I was just telling them that I need more beads because of that COVID weight. That COVID weight definitely had me. I was in the washroom and all I heard was like clink, 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 boom, 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 and all of my beads were just all over the floor. So yeah, so we're gonna need some of those. Thank you guys so much for coming. Yes, thank you so much, Jade. It was lovely. And once again, if you guys were not comfortable sharing your experience here on the chat, please email me. Please email me. And if you have my phone number, call me, because I would love to know. I just want to make sure that the script is doing exactly what it's supposed to do, for the audience that I'm trying to talk to and that I'm trying to serve.